Okay, so we're going to get into the topic for tonight, which is unapologetic like Sha'Carri. Unapologetic like Sha'Carri. And I'm sure everyone has heard of Sha'Carri Richardson. Excuse me. I'm sure everyone has heard of Sha'Carri Richardson. She is the track star that has been getting a lot of attention lately because of the unapologetic way that she shows up, right? She shows up unapologetically. And she just, over the past couple of days, solidified her spot as the fastest woman in America. We're talking about Sha'Carri Richardson, for those that are just joining. She has just solidified her spot as the fastest person in America and solidified her spot at the Olympics in Tokyo. And now she's going on to try to solidify her spot as the fastest woman in the world. And she's doing it unapologetically. And she's received some backlash. She's received some negative remarks. I've seen articles written about her. I've seen different videos where, people have made, comments and have said different things. And I was on Facebook last night and I was reading an article that someone had posted, and I was responding to the article in her defense. And I was saying, it's funny how when we do certain things, it's looked at a certain way, but when other people do the same thing, it's okay when other people do it. So why is it when it comes our turn, are certain things looked at as, ghetto? Or as someone said that, the way she was talking was ignorant. The way she was portraying herself was, in an unfavorable light. And in the middle of me typing my response to that comment, I had to hold up a mirror to myself. And I said, I have to look at myself and I have to look at the way I'm showing up. And I said, because Sha'Carri has discovered something at her young age, at the age of 21, that sometimes I'm much older than her, more than twice her age, that sometimes I'm not even courageous enough to do. I'm not always courageous enough. Hi, Sacred Beauty Crystal. Thanks for joining. I'm not always courageous enough to show up unapologetically as myself, right? So I had to check myself. I had to hold up a mirror to myself and say, Dina, what can you do differently? How can you show up differently? How can you be authentically yourself even more, right? And so that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how it's important for you to show up unapologetically yourself. It's important for you to show up because most of the time, people that are focusing on those type of things are people that are jealous of you, people that are sometimes intimidated by you, and people who want to just kind of find some way to kind of, poke a pin or poke a hole, find a hole in something that you're doing to get you distracted. But Sha'Carri has figured out how not to let that distract her, right? She has figured out how to do it and how to do it unapologetically because she's the best in the country right now. All eyes are on her. And she has figured out that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what the packaging looks like. It only matters, what you have inside and what you're doing and making sure that you are focusing and becoming the best at your craft. And I can relate to that, definitely being a Black woman. I can relate to that several years ago when I did the big chop. I cut all my hair off back in 2012. I cut my hair off and then I was going through the period where I was, kind of letting it grow out. And I remember I had a job interview that I needed to go to. I had a job interview that I wanted to go to, and I was preparing for the interview, and then I thought about my hair. And I said, you know what? I really don't like the way my hair looks right now. I really don't like the way that it looks. And I said, I need to make sure that I look presentable because, of course, I want this job. I want to come across professional. I want to come across polished. I want to come across a particular type of way. And I know everyone's going to be looking at me. They're going to be judging me. They're going to come to certain conclusions about me. And I want to make sure I look a certain way. And what did I do? I went out and I bought myself a wig. I went out and I bought myself a wig and I put the wig on for the interview because I wanted to cover up my hair because I thought my hair wouldn't be accepted the way that it was. Of course, no one told me that and no one said that to me. That was just something on the inside of me that I have to do something so that I can fit in. I have to downplay who I am. I have to decrease who I am, have to decrease and alter the way that I look so that I will be more acceptable. And I went in for the interview And, I did good in the interview. I actually ended up getting the job. But while I was sitting there preparing, or answering the questions for the interview, while I was sitting on the conference room table, even in that moment while I had this wig on, I was saying to myself, I don't feel good about myself. I felt like I looked silly, and I felt bad for doing it. So while I'm trying to answer the questions, while I'm trying to convey myself in a positive and professional manner, on the inside of me, it was kind of eating away at me, that I kind of gave in and I kind of succumbed to, this is the definition of professionalism. This is the way you need to look. If you want to get this, you have to downplay how you look, right? And for those that are just joining, we're talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. We're talking about the track star that is the fastest woman in the country. She just solidified her spot to go into the Olympics, but she's had to do that under scrutiny. She's had people looking at her, the way she looks. Obviously, her hair, the different colored wigs, her nails, her eyelashes, and all those things that people have chosen to focus on, and let that be a distraction versus her obvious talent. And I'm relaying that to a time in my life when I went through that as well, because I felt like my appearance wasn't up to par. And I was just telling a story about how I had to go to an interview, and I felt the need to put a wig on because I didn't feel my natural hair was acceptable, and how it ate away at me on the inside. And then I ended up feeling silly for doing it. And I never, ever wore that wig again. And I actually, after that interview, decided that would be the last time that I would water myself down, or that I would not show up authentically as myself to try to please other people, to try to show up a particular way that other people may have deemed more professional or more acceptable. And I haven't done that since. And since then, when I've gone to different interviews or gone to different professional, going to different professional spaces, I've just worn my hair naturally how it was. Because I said, this is the way I'm going to wear it anyway. So why not just start off like that? Just let them see you, Dina, the way that you are, right? If they don't like you the way that you are, then maybe it's not a good fit for you. Maybe this isn't the place for you. And so since then, I have started to do that. I have started to show up more authentically. And even sometimes with my dress, with some of the ways that I have shown up, I said, why can't I wear, this particular thing to work? Why can't I do that? Other people come to work whatever way they want to. So why can't I show up and why can't I wear certain things? And so it's been an ongoing process. It's been an ongoing process for me to feel more and more comfortable in my own skin and how I show up, right? It's been a process, and sometimes I've kind of, digressed back a little bit, but then I kind of catch myself and I keep moving forward and say, you know what, Dina, you can show up the way that you want to, because people that are making a big deal about that probably aren't going to be as good as you. I'm just speaking my truth. They're probably not going to be as good as you. They're probably people that are trying to undermine and trying to poke holes in, what you're trying to do. And they're probably just trying to find a way to distract if anyone's making comments about that. And even just to be a little bit more transparent, hello to everyone that's joining. Thanks for joining. And even to be just a little bit more transparent, I go live on Instagram every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. But I also go live on my LinkedIn page. I have a LinkedIn page where I go live at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays, and I come with a career topic. And as you may know, LinkedIn is more of a professional platform, right? So it's more where people are networking, talking about things from a professional standpoint. And I'm normally talking to people about their career and giving them different topics that can help them elevate in their career. And I remember when I first started going live on that platform, I also had to deal with, had to kind of think about for myself, how am I going to show up on this platform? Because as you can tell, I like to wear statement pieces. I like to wear a lot of bold jewelry. I like to wear big jewelry, and that's just who I am. But when I first started going live on my Instagram page, I kind of thought, I can't wear these earrings. I can't wear green earrings. I can't wear this. I can't wear a ring. That's kind of like what I have on. And then I had to stop myself in that moment and say, why not? It's my platform. It's my page. It's my platform. I have a coaching business, and this is the way I'm going to be showing up when I'm meeting with people. So why not just let them see me authentically the way that I am, right? So it's an ongoing process where you have to constantly affirm yourself, constantly say to yourself, it's okay for you to show up the way that you are, the way that you want to show up, and be authentic and unapologetically yourself. particularly for, I'm speaking as a Black woman, so that's the perspective that I'm coming from, right? I see other people that don't necessarily have to worry about their hair or worry about the way that they show up. There have been times that I have been in professional spaces and I was worried about the way I talk and worried about using certain slang. And I said, why am I worried about that? When I see other people do it, it's okay. It's something that I wouldn't have dared, even thought about saying. They said it and it was no big deal. But here I am watering myself down, and here I am holding back for fear of how I'm going to be perceived. So I really have worked on that in the past couple of years to stop doing that. Stop thinking that I have to show up a particular way and encouraging myself to be more unapologetically who I am. Because anytime that I show up and anytime that I do something, I'm going to bring 110%. It doesn't matter what I have on. It doesn't matter what the packaging looks like. I'm coming in there to be the best. I'm coming in there to be excellent. I'm coming in there to do my very best. So it doesn't matter what it looks like. Now, my style is a little bit different than Sha'Carri. We're talking about the track star for the people who are coming in, and thanks for joining. My style was a little bit different than hers. I wouldn't necessarily wear a colored wig. I don't wear wigs anymore, but that's just not really my style. But if that's what she wants to do, why can't she do it? She's the best. Those wigs, her nails, her lashes, the way she talks, the way she represents Dallas, where she's from, it has not stopped her, and it has not impeded her ability to be the best at what she's doing. So what difference does it make? And so I want to just kind of give you food for thought tonight to just kind of think about that. And if any of you have thoughts on the situation, please type it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about, the situation with Sha'Carri Richardson, who's become a household name here over the past couple of days, and how she's shown up and how people are, attempting to kind of diminish her accomplishments by focusing on her exterior. So if you have any comments about that, type it in the comment section. I want to hear from you and, kind of see what your thoughts are on that. And so I want to just, kind of encourage people to show up authentically, and don't let people downplay you. Don't let people tell you that the way you wear your hair, the way you wear your clothes, or the way you do different things is there's something wrong with it. Definitely whenever it doesn't take away from what you're doing. And of course, I understand that there's a difference. There's a time and a place for everything. What you may wear in the workplace may not be what you would wear to the mall, may not be what you would wear to an after 5 event. Of course, I understand that. But even when you're in those spaces, why can't we be free to just be who we are? Why do we have to downplay who we are because somebody else wants us to package it a particular way? Somebody wants us to make it look a particular way. And I want to encourage you to, to just get rid of that thinking. Get rid of that thinking and say, you're good enough the way that you are. The way you want to show up is fine. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I see Ursula, who said, I think she's beautiful and I love her style. I haven't heard her speak, but I definitely saw her talent in the track. Yeah, absolutely. And that's really all that, we should be concerned about, because she's on the field for her speed and for the way she's competing with people. And, Ursula, there are plenty of videos out there where you can just Google it or go to YouTube and you can kind of hear her. And she has a big personality. People have called her arrogant. And I saw one title of an article that said the outspoken track star, which, I think there was kind of like a dig at her, kind of in a negative perspective. Well, she's the best. So why wouldn't she be outspoken? She's the best. She does what she says she's going to do. She said it. I'm that girl. So she's telling you that's what it is. And then she proves that she is that girl because I'm sitting here doing a live about her. People are talking about her. Her name is all over the place. So why wouldn't she, why wouldn't she be confident? It's something to be said about, whenever we do certain things, we're not allowed to have that confidence that maybe other people are allowed to have. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about being unapologetic like Sha'Carri. And I started that hashtag because I really want to really think about that. And like I said earlier, it really kind of, caused me to hold the mirror up to myself and really think about, I'm more than twice her age. And sometimes I'm not even courageous enough to do that up until now. Starting now and going forward, I'm going to make sure that I show up 100% as I am. I'm not going to downplay who I am or what I do or the way I talk or what have you, because it has nothing to do with what I produce. It has nothing to do with me being a professional. It has nothing to do with me being an expert, being a subject matter expert in my field. It doesn't matter. And going back to LinkedIn that I talked about earlier, I've seen people on LinkedIn do different things. I've seen different flyers and see people do things I never would have thought I could have got away with doing. But why not? Why can't I do certain things that I see other people doing? And looking at, Sha'Carri, the track star, looking at her, she's encouraged me. She has inspired me, like I'm sure she has inspired a lot of other people. And she has become a role model for people. She's become an inspiration to just, she's beautiful in her own way and her own style. And it doesn't have to be what you would do or what I would do. It doesn't matter. It's her style. I can't do what she does. I can't run, on the field. I can't do that. I'm not a track star or anything. So it doesn't matter. So I just wanted to kind of come on here tonight, and I wanted to talk about that and see if people had comments about that, see if people are, hearing stuff about that, and just encourage people, to show up. It's okay. They're going to talk anyway. If you saw the post that I did earlier today, I said, they're going to talk about you anyway. So you may as well show up the way you want and give them something to talk about. Just make sure you stay focused, make sure you perfect your craft, and give people something to talk about while they're looking at you. Make sure you give them something to look at and something to talk about. Okay? So that has been this week's episode of From Dina's Desk. We are talking about unapologetic like Sha'Carri. And I hope this has encouraged you. And if it has, share this with someone. Share this with someone so someone else can come and maybe, we can think about it from a different perspective. So again, I'm here every Tuesday night at 8:00 p.m. right here on Facebook and right here on Instagram, talking to you every week with a different topic that can help you elevate in your life and in your career. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining, and have a great rest of the evening. Bye-bye. See you next week.